What is up, everybody? And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, I got a loaded episode for you guys. We are going to go through Week 15 predictions. The DoorDash competition is heating up extremely hard there. I am currently at 145 and 63, and JB caught up a little bit last week. My friend was 139 and 69. So we have a 6-game lead currently for me at this moment. As of his predictions, we've predicted over 200 games, so it's only a 6-game lead. It was 7 last week, so JB got me on the Packers-Lions game, unfortunately. Also, if you have not already done so, please go check out the Unbiased Hard Take Fantasy Football League. That's heating up. Also, winner of that will get a free DoorDash t-shirt and a sticker for your car. So go check that out on our Facebook page. The link is in the description down below for all that good stuff. So, with that being said, we've already went through the records on DoorDash again. I am 145.63. JB is 139 and 69. So keep out for his short take as well. Go check out his short take if you have not already done so. Show my friend some love there. And also, if you haven't already done so, go check out JB's Steel Take. He does that after Steeler games, typically on Mondays, the day after the game. There's a very good one this week, so go check that out if you have not already done so. Unless you're a Browns fan, probably shouldn't go check that out then. Just a little bit of a sneaker there for you. But with that, we have another very good Thursday night football game. Both teams desperate. The LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. And the Niners are they're still beat up. And looking at them, yeah, they beat up on a really, really crappy Bears team. But, I mean, everyone beats the Bears. I mean, that's not surprising. The Bears are losing in December. Imagine that. So the Rams, though, coming off of that really impressive performance against the Bills, where they were doing everything right. All three sides of the ball, truly. Because you had Matt Stafford out there who had 2 touchdowns, 320 yards. They ran the ball well. Williams, 2 touchdowns. And they blocked a punt that actually went for a score as well. So they played all 3 phases of the game really well. Josh Allen had a beast of a game. 6 total touchdowns for him in a losing effort. That's wild. 42-44. So it was a good shootout game. The Rams pulling out the upset in LA. So they're on a roll right now. I trust Sean McVay, a Super Bowl winning coach, more than I trust Shanahan. Truly at this point. So yeah, I think the Rams are going to beat the Niners on this one. So give me the Rams. Then moving on to, yes, my favorite time of the week. Second favorite time of the week. The Washington Commanders at the New Orleans Saints. And truly, there's no competition here. The Commanders are going to win this game. They're coming off that bye week. The week before that, they did get a nice win, a kind of a comeback win going into the bye week. They're currently at 8 wins and in the playoff picture, while the New Orleans Saints currently are without Derek Carr. And he's been announced out multiple weeks. Taysom Hill, who's an Army Swiss knife, an old school football player. I love Taysom Hill. He's also been ruled out for the season, so the Saints are kind of banged up. Alvin Kamara is still balling. And he actually became the all-time Saints leading rusher as of recently. So congratulations to him on that. He's a good player, but I'm taking command here. The Commanders are in the playoff picture. Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix are fighting it out for Offensive Rookie of the Year right now. So I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, the Commanders are just a better team. So yeah, give me the Commanders here. And then Kansas City at Cleveland. I mean, yeah, I'm taking Kansas City here. Kansas City always seems to find a way to win. They won't go undefeated. They did lose with the Bills, so that's ultimately what matters. And nothing really matters with the Chiefs until it gets to the playoffs. Someone has to beat Mahomes. I don't want to watch regular season Chiefs football anymore. They're going to win this game. They always do. I mean, they win every sort of type of way. They block field goals. They get the referees help. They play good defense. They really do play good defense. I know I make the referee comment, but the Chiefs just seem to have the luck of the football gods on their side. Because even last week, that game-winning field goal where it went off the upright and went in, how many times do you see that? Not very often. A handful of times a year, if that. So I think the Chiefs just have a good string of luck right now. They're the defending champions, tied for the best record in the league. So I'm taking the Chiefs against Jameis Winston, who, yes, has had really good moments this year and actually broke the Browns' all-time passing yard for a single game record. But he also makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes, multiple pick sixes in games, a lot of interceptions. So it's the Jameis Winston experience. It's a roller coaster ride with him. So I think Kansas City will take advantage of that and ultimately expose him late in the game situation. The Chiefs are really good situationally. Then moving on to Cincinnati at Tennessee. And Yes, I understand that Tennessee-Jacksonville game was abysmal. I mean, it was 10-6. Jacksonville finally got a win. Finally. And Mac Jones leading, I guess if you want to say leading that to a win. But, I mean, Will Levis returned. He doesn't look very good. He looks like the bust I predicted him to be. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but 168 yards. 3 yards rushing. Tony Pollard had a nice day, but 6 points, not a single touchdown all day long for the Titans. 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter for the Jaguars. Titans should have been able to win that game, and they can't. Titans are just a really, really bad football team, and the Bengals just try to find ways to lose. Somehow last week, the Cowboys outbungled the Bungles with that blocked punt that the Bengals had it blocked, and then a Cowboys player touched it, and the Bengals player recovered. You can't make that stuff up. You can't make that up. The Bengals are wasting Joe Burrow. Truly, he's 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, dang near 400 yards again, 44 passes, 11 incompletions. Leads the league in many stat categories right now and has the best stats of any quarterback in the NFL right now. Looking at Joe Burrow's individual stats right now. And mind you, Jamar Chase leads the NFL in receiving also. But for the season, Joe Burrow, 3,706 yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 107.9 QBR. He's balling. He's 2 away from his career high. And the Bengals are 5-8. But ultimately, I think they'll get the win here. Tennessee's just an abysmal team. You would hope Cincinnati will be able to, 1 touchdown probably beats Tennessee according to last week. So I think Cincinnati gets the win here. Then moving on to the Miami Dolphins at Houston Texans. And yes, Miami did get the win last week against the Jets, but it took to overtime to beat the Jets and a washed-up Aaron Rodgers. That's not very impressive. So with that, Houston is my Super Bowl pick. And Houston is going to remain my Super Bowl pick. I'm not bailing on Houston. They're coming off that bye week last week, got some extra rest. Nico Collins is back. Joe Mixon's balling. Dang near a 1,000-yard season coming up on him. I know the stats aren't quite there for C.J. Stroud, but the Texans still lead the division. They're still going to get a home playoff game. Everyone needs to not freak out, and everyone needs to calm down. It's still regular season. They're going to be just fine. I think Houston wins this game against Miami, who struggled last week against the Jets team I thought they would handle pretty easily. So yeah, give me Houston. Then Baltimore at the New York Football Giants, if you want to truly call them the Football Giants, but Daniel Jones has been released after him signing that big deal. Saquon's long gone. Drew Lock's in a walking boot. Brian Dable announced today. And Tommy DeVito's going to start again. The Giants are a mess. So Baltimore, this is a really good chance for them to kind of beat up on a really, really bad football team, also coming off of a bye week. And they're not on a good stretch right now either, so they're probably going to come out very irritated, and a very good chance, like I said, for Baltimore to be able to slap around a bad football team and get some confidence back and keep their tail on the Steelers. It looks like Baltimore might have to be a wild card team this year at this point. So then moving on to the New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm going to pick the Jets here cautiously. The Jaguars did win last week, yes, and winning's all that matters. I understand that. I truly do. But if any win ever feels like a loss, that was the one. 10-6 against Tennessee, not very impressive at all. So I think the Jets are, yes, while they're poor and piss poor, they're just a more talented roster. I trust the corpse of Aaron Rodgers to at least be able to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and Mac Jones. So yeah, give me the Jets here, cautiously. Then moving on to the Dallas Cowboys at Carolina Panthers. If you did not check out the Sports Fact Today recently, please go do so. It's on our Facebook page. We post that daily. It is great content. But the Carolina Panthers opened as a favorite this week for the first time since 2022. Wow. And Dallas goes to Carolina. I'm not buying that Carolina wins this game. Yeah, they are playing better football as of late, but they're still losing games. So I expect them again to play better, but they're not going to win. They're just not a good enough football team. They're a clown show up front, and from the owner's standpoint, they have a rookie head coach. Just not very much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Dallas is going to at least, they almost beat Cincinnati. I mean, they had 20 points on Cincinnati and held up with Joe Burrow. So I'm sure they'll be able to keep in the game with the Carolina Panthers if they can do it with Joe Burrow. So I'm taking Dallas here. I just don't trust Carolina. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Buccaneers, yes, I'll give them some credit. The Buccaneers are coming off of, let me see the statistics here. Yeah, Tampa Bay. Wow. Coming off of a really, I don't want to say beating the Raiders is ever really impressive. 28-13 wasn't really ever in doubt. I kind of kept track. That was more of a corner score game for me. I didn't necessarily watch that one. I did watch the highlights as always. But this is hard because the Chargers coming off of that heartbreaker against Kansas City last week. But I think the Chargers are going to get the win here. They're healthier right now. You still have a lot of injuries on Tampa Bay's roster right now. They are playing better football. They're leading the division right now currently. So they are a hot team, but I think the Chargers are just a better football team, and I trust Justin Herbert more than Baker Mayfield. So yeah, give me the Chargers here. Then at the Indianapolis Colts, at the Arizona Cardinals. Well, I'm rooting for the Colts because that helps Green Bay's wild card chances. I think the Cardinals get the win here. Cardinals are probably still a year away, but the Cardinals are at the point now where they're going to beat the bad teams or the below average teams and then struggle against above average to elite teams. And that's the first step of turning our franchise around. So next year we need, that's why I call it a sneaky team. So next year they really need to be able to take that step forward. And I think, again, the Colts are I wouldn't say they're abysmal, but they're a below mid team. So I think the Cardinals get a win here. And I think they're still about a year away, though. Like I said, they're a sneaky team, like I said. So yeah, give me the Cardinals. Then, this is the game of the week easily. The Buffalo at Detroit. I'm picking Detroit. They've lost one game, which was ironically to Tampa Bay. They always seem to find a way to win. Dan Campbell's a very aggressive coach. I'm going to give the Lions their flowers this week. They played a great game against Green Bay. That was a really close game till the end of the wire. Green Bay had a lead till the end of the game. Just the Lions were able to pull out a good game. So I think Detroit, I'm giving them their flowers. They deserve it. They really do. They're the better team. Green Bay still want to get that wild card, though. I'll get into them here in a bit. Then moving on to Pittsburgh at Philly. I'm taking Philly here. Philly's on a really, really nice win streak right now. I understand they only beat the Panthers by 6, but the Chiefs only beat the Panthers by 3. And no one talked about that, but because it's the Eagles for some reason. And it's because their quarterback's more of a scrambling quarterback. Jalen Hurts only had 108 yards, but you also got to consider he had 59 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown as well, and 3 total tutties on the day. So look at the whole picture there. Yes, Pittsburgh is playing good football, great football as well, but I think this is in Philadelphia. I think there's a certain home field advantages that matter. Green Bay's one of them, Pittsburgh's one of them, Philadelphia's one of them, Kansas City's one of them. Places that are just really loud. It's cold in Philadelphia this time of the year. So yeah, give me Philly. It's at home. Then, on Sunday Night Football, we have the Green Bay Packers going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. And I'm taking the Packers here. Packers coming off of a heartbreaking loss last Thursday to the Detroit Lions. But the Packers had some time to get some rest. Hopefully we can get Edgewood and Cooper back. I know Romeo Doubs was still in concussion protocol. And hopefully get Jair Alexander back because the Lions tore up our secondary. But the Packers were still able to make it. They replayed that game again. The Packers very well could have won it. If that came down to the last second, either team could have won. You can't get mad at the result. They played ultimately a good game. But the first half is ultimately really what killed the Packers. You have to start out better than what they did. And they weren't able to fully overcome that and at least sustain it. So I think Green Bay wins here. Seattle is a limited offense, I think. They'll keep the game interesting after. I think Green Bay ultimately wins by about 7 to 10 points here, though. Green Bay is just a better football team. And they had some extra rest as well after Seattle just had a really, really hard game against the Cardinals on Sunday, while Green Bay played on Thursday. So take that into consideration also. Josh Jacobs, I think, will run all over him. So give me Green Bay there. Then Chicago at Minnesota. You already know I ain't picking Caleb Williams. I'm picking Minnesota here, and at this point, we might have to start questioning if J.J. McCarthy could get traded. And I know that sounds ridiculous. He's a first-round pick quarterback last year, but Sam Darnold is proving that he's a franchise quarterback. We'll see how far the Vikings get in the playoffs. Hopefully not very far. But, Green Bay's won 9 games and third in their division. It's because Detroit and Minnesota they won't stop winning. And that has a lot to do with Sam Darnold. I know Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones as your weapons, TJ Hawkinson at tight end doesn't hurt. But Sam Darnold is a good quarterback in a good system. Maybe he's found his home. I'm just saying. Maybe something to look at for the offseason. Maybe Sam Darnold stays, McCarthy goes. By the way, I think Minnesota gets a win here. Chicago played horrible against San Francisco. Then, again, the second of a doubleheader on Monday Night Football is the Atlanta Falcons at Vegas Raiders. And, you know, I'm picking the upset. I'm picking Vegas. Kirk Cousins has been playing abysmal football. Abysmal. I mean, looking at last week, the Falcons had a really good opportunity. The Falcons really had an outstanding opportunity to be able to take some control of the division a little bit, and they couldn't do it. Kirk Cousins went out there, 2 interceptions, over 300 yards, but not a single touchdown for him. Multiple interceptions these past few weeks. The Falcons defense got tore up. Darnold, 5 touchdowns. Aaron Jones found the end zone. Addison had 3 touchdowns. The Vikings just lit up the Falcons. The Falcons didn't know that looked like they wanted to even be there. They looked confused. They were definitely way underprepared for that, and here they find themselves now out of the playoff picture and 6 wins, 7 losses. And while, yes, the Raiders are an absolute clown show also, I can't, again, there's an old saying that no one will ever lose more money than betting on the Falcons. 28-3. That's all I got to say. And they're doing it again. The Falcons are doing it again. They always do. So I'm taking the Raiders in a game of choking team versus a clown show. Who will come on top? And I'll never take the choking team. Give me the clown show. I think the Raiders win this game. So give me the Raiders in the upset of the week on primetime. It's always about one funky game that's kind of weird. And I think that's going to be the Falcons and Raiders game. So give me the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And with that, that's all I have for DoorDash. There's no more bye weeks. We're entering the last bit of the season, and the DoorDash competition is wrapping up. JB's catching up, so we still got plenty of more predictions to talk about. Things will look a lot different here in a few weeks. So I got to be on my A game. I know JB's sneaking up on me. He's already texted me. So with that, I'm going to jump over to the world of the NBA a little bit. I wasn't going to do that today, but I feel like it's necessary because the Miami Heat, I did a Miami Heat video update on Tyler Hero being an all-star. If you haven't already done that, please go check that out. It was some good Purdue coverage as well. Good football program coverage for Purdue hiring their new coach as well. So if you haven't checked that video out, please go do so on our YouTube channel. But Jimmy Butler, the day after I posted that video, it was talked about Jimmy Butler could get traded. Miami is willing to listen to offers, and Jimmy Butler kind of broke that silence today, saying, and he didn't really deny it, saying that he doesn't think that's necessarily a bad thing, that he doesn't believe in bad publicity to a point. And last year he was saying things like he never wanted to leave Miami. He wanted to bring a title to us. So things are sounding a little different now. Reports coming out, Jimmy Butler making those comments. So I sat and thought about it. Would it be a bad thing? So it's truly better to move off a player a year early rather than too late. And looking at Jimmy Butler's age, Jimmy Butler, yeah, he's okay, September birthday, so it's already happened. He's 35 years old. Will be going into his offseason. After this, he can opt out of his contract, which reports are that he plans on doing. Most people do it. It's business decisions. I get it. But he'll be 36 entering free agency. Is that somebody Miami wants to shell money out to? Have we drained the juice out of Jimmy Butler? I mean, he got us to 2 finals, multiple playoff appearances, deserves to be in the rafters in Miami, and belongs in the Basketball Hall of Fame as a Miami Heat. That's absolutely true. But you have to ask yourself 2 questions. I'm torn as a Heat fan because, yes, Jimmy Butler is averaging 19 points a game. That's his lowest as a Miami Heat and lowest since 2018 when he was with the 76ers. But he's also shooting 55.7% from the floor, which is well above a career high for him. So, yeah, his numbers are down, but his efficiency is up. Tyler Hero is stepping up, looking like an all-star reserve this year. Bam Adebayo is averaging a double-double, Olympic gold medalist champion. And he was a big part of the reason we made 2 finals also. So Miami has to ask themselves, can they get to the finals with this core and win? Been in the finals twice. But then they have to ask themselves also, can they get something for Jimmy before he walks out the door? Because I don't know if you want to offer a 36-year-old player going into that season a massive contract. It's always better to get rid of a player a year early rather than a year too late. Now, personally, for me, I would personally run it back with this team. I've always said that. Tyler Hero's finally stepping up. Scary Terry's on the roster now, looking decent. We got Jimmy Jaskes. Kevin Love, still a good rotational piece. Bam, Jimmy. Like we talk about Tyler Hero. So Miami has a core to be able to really make another run at the NBA championship. They can do it. They've proven they can get there. They pushed the Lakers in 2020 to 6 games, and we didn't get swept in the finals against the Nuggets either. They can get there, and they can win in the finals. But can they take that next step and win the entire thing? That is the question. Now, personally, I would run it back with this core. I don't really necessarily like the idea of blowing it up in the middle of the season when currently we're in the playoff picture with a winning record right now. Seems like an overreaction. I would personally run it back with this team, see what we can do with this team. If it doesn't work, we still have Tyler Hero, Scary Terry, and Bam Adebayo. It'll be fine. Jimmy Jazzquez Jr. is also a core young player for us, so we're going to be fine. We've got plenty of talent. And so Miami has to ask themselves those questions, and that's all I'm saying. I understand both sides. I see both sides. But ultimately, I'm going to say run it back with this team. See if we can finally get that championship. You'll never know if we don't. That's all I'm saying. Don't leave unanswered questions. Let's go for that championship. We're already in the middle of the season. We're dang near at Christmas basketball. Why blow it up now? We've been to the finals, made the playoffs last year. It's not like we're a struggling franchise. Everybody needs to hold the horses, pull the brakes up. Like I said, I understand the trade rumors and the age thing. He's down, averaging career low in points for the Miami Heat. I get it. I really do. I see it. Injury history in the past. Have we got our best from him? I understand it. But run it back with this core. They've proven they can do it. Not once, but twice. Once, bubble season, it's a fluke. Well, they proved it wasn't. And they've been in the playoffs multiple times. I think I'm dang near every year in the Jimmy Butler era and Bam Adebayo era. So let's see if we can do it with this team, is all I'm saying. Jimmy Butler's a Hall of Famer. Bam Adebayo's heading that direction. Tyler Hero's stepping up. He's a former most improved player. Could very well get an all-star nod this year. So, that's all I'm saying. Run it back with the Heat. And that's all I have for today's unbiased hard take. Again, if you haven't already done so, please go check out JB's short take video. Again, on our YouTube. Go like on Facebook. Links to all that in the description down below. Follow on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Do all that good stuff. We have a lot of good things coming for the Unbiased Hard Take. We're doing a lot of live streams. We may even do one this weekend. You never know. That's all I'm saying. Me and JB have been doing a lot of those together this football season. So, a lot of big things coming. That's all I got. As always, boiler up. New football coach. New culture. One of the best basketball programs in the country. Let's go Heat. Let's run it back with this core. We're in the playoffs. And go, Pack. Go, baby. Let's beat Seattle. Let's get double-digit wins, baby. See you all next week.